All right, welcome back. Today we're going to look at the ancient origins of the tranny and its association with the worship of pagan gods. Why are there so many trannies in the mass media and the government? Well, we're going to see that's the way it's always been. Okay, so really nothing's changed. The real question is, why wouldn't they all be a bunch of trannies? So anyone who thinks these people are not trannies, the onus of proof is on them because they've always been trannies. This is watch a movie filled with the tranny priests. What's the first thing you see? Before the movie begins, we have to bow down and worship Inanna. There's the star up here, right? This is the star of Inanna. This is the Statue of Liberty, same thing. This is the goddess Inanna. And before the movie begins, just like in ancient theater, Greek ancient theater was performed for the gods, just like the temple rituals were done for the gods. And in theater, it's the same thing. The actors were channeling the gods, and they're transgendered, right? I mean, it's a known fact that all the female roles were played by men in ancient Greek theater. All female roles in theater are still played by men, and the movie begins. Now, depending on what studio is making the movie, they have different symbols, but there's always some kind of pagan symbol at the beginning of the movie to remind you that this theater production is done in honor of the goddess. That's what's going on, all right? So it opens up with the goddess of transvestites, and then the movie begins, and you see the transvestite. The entire movie is a pagan ritual. This is an ancient poem or whatever it is for Inanna. Undoubtedly the most shocking practice attributed to Gali, self-castration. And next are the Hydra, neither man nor woman. The Hydra of India, members of a contemporary cult of goddess worshippers, estimated to number some 50,000 in northern India alone, with roots that may be as old or older than those of the Gali. Hydra are males devoted to the worship and service of Bahukara Mata, one of the many Indian mother goddess figures. The most striking parallel between the two cults is the practice of castration. In both cases, the procedure appears to have been traditionally performed in a temple, with the parts buried there or under a tree. In the case of Hydra, both penis and testicles are removed by an expert, while the initiate chants the name of the mother goddess. The blood is allowed to flow freely in the belief that it drains away the heat that is the source of both maleness and sexual desire. As a result, the initiate is nirvana, liberated, reborn. He becomes a sannyasi or itinerant saint who embodies the strength of the goddess. Embodies the strength, all right? He's possessed by the goddess and is able to convey it to others in the form of blessings and also curses. They channel the goddess of fertility. Castration does not transform Hydra into women. We are neither men nor women, although they generally wear women's clothing in public. Their exaggerated femininity and body public behavior immediately gives them away as Hydra. It's kind of like the Hydra celebrities that we see on TV. Their body public behavior gives them away. Some Hydra fulfilled important roles in palace administration. Kind of like in the White House, they still do. The oldest texts attribute supernatural powers and or religious roles to eunuchs. Neither is he changed into a woman, nor does he remain a man, wrote Augustine. All right, this is from Augustine's City of God, written around the 4th century. To be present in the temples of devils, to witness the priests of Sibyl mutilating themselves, the effeminate being consecrated, castrated, the raving fanatics cutting themselves, Galley, the castrated priests of Sibyl. These gods of the pagans are all evil, because they are not gods, but evil spirits. These gods who desire to be honored by theatrical plays, these gods exacting plays in their own honor. They had them dedicated to themselves, consecrated to themselves. The demons who delighted in blinding men to the truth. The gods demand stage plays in their own honor. So there's this correlation between the transvestite priest and the actors in the dramas. And the Olympics, by the way, right? The Olympics is also done in honor of the gods. That's why we have all these transgendered Olympic athletes. The golden ass, all right, there's another primary source. Everyone hideously made up, their faces crazy with muddy paints, and their eyes artfully lined. The soil became wet with the filthy blood of the effeminates. Carl Jung sees the figure of the androgyne, the projection of a longing for a return to primordial unity. Sounds like the United Nations, for escape from the unbearable tension of the opposites. That's why they have all this Me Too movement and all these sexual harassment things in the news. They're all fake to give us the unbearable tension of the opposites, to give us chaos, and they will bring order, which is primordial unity, for a mode of humanity no longer divided into halves. Plato's Symposium. Transcending gender had to begin with the renunciation of sexuality. At the time of the birth of Christ, cults of men devoted to a goddess flourished throughout the broad region extending from the Mediterranean to South Asia. While Galli were missionizing the Roman Empire, Kalu, Kurgaru, and Asinu continued to carry out ancient rites in the temples of Mesopotamia. And the third gender, predecessors of the Hydra, were clearly evident in India. All right, this is 2,000 years ago. There were trannies all over the place. To complete the picture, we should also mention the megabazoi, or eunuch priests of Artemis at Ephesus. All right, now that's where Paul goes there. Western Semitic Kedoshim, the male temple prostitutes known from the Hebrew. All right, that's in the Bible. They call them Kedoshim. That's plural for Kadesh. All right, a sodomite is a transvestite priest for the mother goddess. The real translation should be transvestite pagan priest. So this cult of transvestite priests worshiping the mother goddess was all over the world. Artemis worship was at length Christianized in the middle of the 5th century by the substitution of the mother god, Theotokos. This was the beginning of Mariolatry. All right, what do you think that means? Mariolatry, the idol worship of Mary. All right. Now, I always get these comments when I talk about Mary. Hey, Mary is a great woman, a human female, mother of Jesus Christ. But Mary is not a goddess. They changed the name, again, of Artemis to Mary. All right, just like it changed from Inanna, Ishtar, Ashtoreth. Now it's Artemis. Now it's Mary. First thing people do when they enter the Catholic Church is they bow down to Mary. All right, when they enter a Catholic Mass, you got to bow down to Mary. That's the first thing you do. I know a guy who was Catholic. In fact, he told the priest, he said, yeah, I'm praying to God. I'm praying to Jesus, and I still have this problem. And the priest told him, oh, you got to pray to Mary. It's Inanna Ishtar. It's the androgynous, self-generating deity. It's the mother goddess. And there's always a eunuch priest lurking around, molesting children, just like they did back in the day. The goddess was called the Queen of Heaven, and the worship was said to be paid to the host of heaven. Baal had priests and prophets consecrated to his service. Consecrated, all sorts of infamous and immodest actions were committed in the festivals of Baal and Astarte. Now I'm going to talk about theater. Many societies prohibited women from performing on stage, so boys and men took the female roles. In the ancient Greek theater, men played females, as they did in English Renaissance theater, and continue to do so today. Japanese kabuki theater, onagata, that means female form. Chinese opera, specialized male actors who play female roles. Athens was the center. It was institutionalized as part of a festival called the Dionysia. Tragodia, two Greek words, tragos, or goat, ode, meaning song. Goat song, that's what tragedy means. So these fertility rituals became the basis for tragedy and comedy, right? Trannies in the theater, same thing as trannies at the temple. Male actors playing female roles would wear a wooden structure on their chest to imitate the look of breasts, right? A little bit more high-tech nowadays. And another on their stomachs to make them appear softer and more ladylike. They're wearing a kind of moon bump back then. White body stockings under their costumes to make their skin appear fair. Some of the Japanese gods have ambiguous gender, being neither male nor female. The belief spread that some people could change their gender depending on the lunar phase. The term half-moon, Hangetsu, was coined to describe such beings. Kabuki remains all male even today. Figure 1, sodomite in theater in the present era. Transvestite, pagan priest. There's the mask, right? There's the mask, tattoos, 33, and the male cult prostitute, the actor. A lot of these actors have transgendered children that are kind of openly transgender. I think this one does, actually. I think most of them do. And what does the name mean, by the way? Angelina Jolie, right? Remember, the J is a relatively new invention. Angel, right? Angel, holy, holy angel. And there we have implements of castration. Castration clamps found in the river Tame and now at the Museum of London. Bronze ritual Roman-era castration clamps. And notice it looks just like a Freemason sign. This is castration, right? This peace sign, that's what it means. Castration, they're doing it near the eyes. You'll be enlightened, and is doing this thing here as well, right? You know, there could be a number of meanings of this peace sign, and a lot of times people are just guessing at what they mean. But what does it mean for them? Why do they do it? I think it means this. And I think this means this. It's the same thing. It's a castration cult, transvestite cult, all for the goddess Inanna. They're castrated, transgendered, pagan priests. These people are in the transgendered elite that run the world. It's always been this way, really. Until the end, they will be destroyed, and we will inherit the earth, all right? This is the religion that's in direct opposition. They, in fact, they imitate everything, and they just do it totally opposite, right? These are the transvestite pagan priests and entertainers in the Babylonian and Greek and Jewish mystery schools, mystery religions. Combination of paganism and mysticism. All right, let me conclude. Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike, Freemason, 33rd degree. This union of the universe with itself, this mutual action of two sexes, he terms the great secrets of nature, the mysteries of the union of heaven with earth, imaged in the sacred mysteries of Attis and Bacchus, Dionysus. All the masters in alchemy who have written of the great work have employed symbolic and figurative expressions, being constrained to do so as well to repel the profane, the uninitiated, from a work that would be dangerous for them, as to be well understood by adepts in revealing to them the whole world of analogies governed by the single and sovereign dogma of Hermes. So in their language, gold and silver are the king and queen, or the sun and moon, Ashtoreth and Baal, sulfur, the flying eagle, Mercury, the man-woman, the atom cadmon. That's the hexagram. That's on the Great Seal of the United States and above the flying eagle. Winged and bearded, mounted on a cube, crowned with flames, matter or salt. The winged dragon, the metals in ebullition, lions of different colors, Inanna Ishtar. And finally, the entire work has for its symbols the pelican and the phoenix. All right, the phoenix is Inanna Ishtar. Inanna Ishtar descended to the other world and rose again. All right, that's what the phoenix is representing. Inanna descending to the underworld. How did Inanna return from the underworld? The androgynes. Remember, the other god created a race of androgynes so that Inanna, Ishtar, could return to Earth. So what I believe is that this is the origins of the modern day transgender agenda. The nations are still under the control of these gods and goddesses with their transgendered, transvestite priests. Nothing's changed.